and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 600 and... Wait, 468. There we go, 468 for the week of
I was going to say, I didn't think I missed that many episodes.
Dude, COVID is really messing with us, man.
I'm very number dyslexic. September 22nd, 2020. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here this week?
Brock Sager.
Toby.
And Charlie.
Hello, Charlie. Welcome back. You've been off for a few weeks.
Yep.
Good to see you.
I would have been on last week, but I managed to hurt my back before we were going to record. I'm like, I'm not going to sit in a chair.
Oh, no. What happened?
So we have these like vine trees at the side of my house, and like an idiot, I just decided to grab onto one and lift it with all my might and strength till it ripped out of the ground.
Okay.
I was successful, but my back paid the price.
You're just seeing if you could, or?
Just getting really, really frustrated with the overall trying to get this thing out. So,
okay. This is how he works out, Ryan. He just goes outside and goes, "Damn vines, I'm gonna rip you out."
Tears trees off the limbs. Just pulls them down.
No.
When he says vines,
it's getting the roots. It's literally ripping this thing out of the ground with giant roots going different directions.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when we say bushes and stuff, when Charlie says that, he actually means full on trees. So he goes out and tackles full on trees.
Charlie and the ivy plant.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I figured he just like bear hugs a redwood and just pulled it out of the ground.
He's like, Paul Bunyan's got nothing on me.
There's a bunch of big news this week. We're gonna go over this stuff. I am so sorry to all our Patreon people. I've been really bad about getting up the questions. I've spazzed really bad the last few weeks about getting those Q&A threads up. I'm gonna get better at doing that.
Maybe we should do some old emails tonight.
Maybe. Let's see if I can see if track down one. We got some news. Talk about this crap. Sure, it's all wonderful, wonderful news. This first one should come as no surprise, but I think we're just waiting for the when. DC Universe. I think we all have DC Universe. Huh? DC Universe, the streaming service.
Yeah, I don't have that thing.
We were wondering what was going to happen now that everything is moved over to HBO Max. Officially, Doom Patrol got a season. This wasn't on my show notes, but it was Doom Patrol got a season 3 officially. Harley Quinn got a season 3. Titans is getting its season 3, and that was the one show we didn't know. That is officially moving over to HBO Max. So what comes of DC Universe? Well, it is being relaunched. Yeah, I'm a little confused about the timing. It says 2021. It's being launched as DC Universe Infinite, January 21st, 2021. But I don't know what happens between like now and then. I don't know if they're comping people's accounts, the lifetime accounts. I don't think you can sign up.
There isn't a lifetime account for this. There is
the year account. The year account. It's a year account.
No, I mean they've already talked about how like it's going to go on through until it goes through, and then those who have an annual subscription. We'll get some money to the DC store, and the monthly subscription will get less money to the DC store.
But it's what we should say with DC Universe Infinite is as well. DC Universe Infinite is the comic books, so it is just going to be comics. However, it is also going to be the DC Universe exclusive. There's going to be exclusive comics for DC Universe that have been on nothing else. But they're also getting all the Comixology comics that they've been doing over the last few months, especially like the Harley Quinn Black, White, and Red. And what was the other one? There's another one coming up. Yeah, I'm assuming Deceased will be on there too. Now, to the best of my knowledge, none of that stuff is on DC Universe as of now. This stuff is all going to be coming to DC Universe Infinite, along with new content. The comics, instead of being 1 year behind, will match Marvel Unlimited and be 6 months behind the print version. So basically, DC Universe Infinite and Marvel Unlimited are the same at this point. And I think as far as I know, the pricing is the same: $7.99 a month or $75 a year. And yeah, you get that $25 voucher if you good at the DC shop. So the exclusive like merch, I'm assuming, is all going away. That rewards program they just added is going away.
Yeah, but the rewards program they just added was always said it would be for a limited time. Like if you went to the redeem page, it always said it was going to end in like 3 days. So even when it launched, they said we're doing this for this many months.
Just to test
make sure you redeem the points and stuff. And for anybody who's sort of been sitting on a bunch of points like myself, I don't actually have enough to get any of the stuff they just added, but they just put a bunch of stuff people could redeem points for because they had only like virtual wallpapers up until today.
Yeah.
Left.
Yeah, there was a bunch of garbage up there.
Yeah. So they put a bunch of more expensive than it was when it was originally on their garbage.
Okay.
They had the Harley statue previously, and that's like 3 times as many points as it was last time.
Great.
Yeah.
I saw they had some contests you could enter with your points, but I could not figure out how to enter those contests. I went to the page, but there was no way to enter. So maybe they're up now.
I figured out how to do that. I was doing that earlier, but it's really fucking annoying.
Yeah,
So they have this like movie contest that you could redeem like 50 tokens for an entry.
Yeah.
But they don't give you a way to like bulk do the entry. So if you want to do it all, you have to be like 50 points code, enter the code, 50 points code, enter the code.
I didn't even see a way to do that. I just didn't see any way to enter either of those contests. So, because I'm not going to use my points for anything. I have like 800 points or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'll just use them in these contests. But
which I would be all for, but I'm not sure how many times I want to go through the click, 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 click for like 2 entries.
Yeah. Well, I'll poke around, see if I can figure it out. I mean, if I don't, no loss, whatever. Yeah. It's fine. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that was supposed to be a limited thing. I thought that was like kind of their permanent like rewards program or something for using the service.
No, they always had like a redemption promo codes must be used before 9/25.
Okay. So I'll read a little here. Let's see. Do I have the? It's from. I totally don't have the official link up here with more info. Anyway, I'll read this. It says, our fans love the platform's robust library of comic books, and with the transformation, we will not disappoint. This is from Jim Lee. I'm excited to share that not only will DC Universe Infinite members be able to read all the great comics they've enjoyed, but new issues are debuting in the platform quicker than before. Digital first exclusives are being created, and the members-only events will begin as soon as possible. There's never been a better time to be a DC fan. So I don't know if Marvel Unlimited does any like con events. I'm assuming they do. But Toby, I know the DC Universe event, that was one of your favorite things at Comic-Con. So they're going to keep it going. It's just all comics.
If it's all comics, I don't know how much they'll do. I think some of that movie money was helping out.
Sure.
Yeah.
It does make sense with HBO Max now being positioned to have an international release. And I'm sure that's why there was no international version of DC Universe, because the movie and TV rights are all different overseas, whether they're on a different
Netflix, etc.
Yeah, or a different platform entirely. So making it as just comics, they said summer of 2021, it's going to launch internationally. I would assume there is very little international conflict for digital comics. Maybe some of the reprints in the UK and mainland Europe, but I'm guessing this makes it now much easier, and HBO Max can deal with all the international licensing for the TV shows and movies and blah, blah, blah. So, I would have loved to have kept the TV shows on there and the movies on there, but I mean, what are you going to do?
I mean, it's not to say that, like, I preferred them on the DC service versus HBO Max, but I'm hoping this means they're moving all the stuff they currently have on DC Universe over to Max, like even Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond and
Yeah, I think it's like stuff. Select. I think it's a Select. So I would be really sad to lose all the old stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
Now,
and I mean, I'll also be sad because I feel like the streaming service is a large part of the reason why we got like the upgrade on the Linda Carter Wonder Woman to Blu-ray quality and the old Shazam show to Blu-ray quality. And
now they're going to keep those around because I'm assuming they put so much work into them doing the upgrades that they'll keep that on the new service. But are they going to keep like the Filmation stuff? Are they going to keep the
Well, I'm just saying that I would have appreciated if it was still around to sort of push them to continue to do some of the older stuff, upping the quality where they could, and that kind of stuff.
I think they will, though. I would. Oh, hello, Train. Got the Train on the podcast here today. I would assume they'll keep doing that for material that makes sense. Lois and Clark needs a high res upgrade. Those DVDs are rough looking.
Yeah, but now they kind of have the competition against other stuff that exists on HBO Max, because I don't think they're gonna. The DC service basically meant they had a very specific library to look at what they wanted to tackle. Moving to HBO Max makes it less likely they will choose one of the DC properties to do that with, unless they see a significant peak of interest on the service on that content or something.
Well, Batman and Wonder Woman were the two big ones. Everything else is just a bonus if we get it. Shazam was, I never expected that. That's really bizarre.
Yeah. But I think they even did I want to say they did the first season of the really old Aquaman show, and they had some random stuff that they did that sort of up. I don't want to call it up conversion, upgrade with, that was just kind of I would have never expected.
Yeah. I would hope that they're putting a big emphasis on the DC properties. It would make sense to bring over all the animation, all the cartoons, the serials. Why not? But this is the problem we get. Netflix, I understand, because they're licensing this stuff. But when Disney Plus, if they start taking stuff down, or when things go up on Peacock and they bring it down, it's the whole point of these services is to be all inclusive. Why would you take stuff down? It made no sense to me when even DC Universe would have cut. Oh, the Superman movies are leaving DC Universe. Fucking why? It makes no sense.
Well, what especially drove me crazy with the DC service, and why it drove me crazy, is they pulled these Superman movies for a month, maybe two, and then it would be they're back on for this month, and then off again. They're rotating the same content. It wasn't even really rotating in new content.
Right.
Most of the time they were just rotating in the same movies.
You know what? That's really my problem with Taco Bell, because they keep taking my fries away and they keep coming back with them. I'm like, God damn it, just fucking leave the fries behind.
I understand if it's look, we have a 6-month agreement with Netflix. They're going to be on there, but then we're going to bring it back. This was an old agreement that we switch off. Okay, fine, whatever. That's okay. But it didn't appear. It was just say goodbye to the Batman movies. They're going back into the vault. It's why? What's wrong with you? HBO Max. There's a ton of content on DC Universe. That would be a big boost to HBO Max if all of it was there, including all the original content of the DC Universe. So
I would really like to see HBO Max do two things. I'd like to see them support 4K like DC Universe did.
Yeah, I have to assume that's coming. And I'd like to see it on, I'd like to fucking see it on Roku.
And it bothered me that even on the DC Universe side, they really only focus on certain things in 4K, like the newer animated movies and their originals. Every time they'd add back in the Tim Burton Batman movies, I'd be did they put them on here in 4K yet? Because those exist in 4K.
Yeah, they have those nice 4K reissues. I've been eyeing that 4K box set for a while, and it's expensive. That thing.
And especially an example like that drives me crazy, because the digital consistently goes on sale at a good price, but the physical
get the thing down to $24.99, $29.99, and I'll buy it instant.
Yeah,
not paying.
And I've seen the digital for $20 or less multiple times, just not the physical.
Really?
Yeah, It drives me crazy.
Yeah. So DC Universe, you gonna stick? You gonna stick with it? Toby, you gonna stick with it? Rock, you gonna get it?
It's the same price, right? Or I haven't looked into it.
The same price.
So it's the same price, but you only get comics now?
Yeah, we can find out if our codes work.
But you get more comics, and it's more up to date. Like, it's not fully up to date. It's not like same week, but things will appear on there 6 months after rather than a year like it is now. So
and they also said that they're going to really start pushing older stuff faster. So they're going to fill in a lot more gaps. They're going to hopefully they actually mean this. So they're going to push more stuff on there, and that's great because there's big gaps. They have 24,000 comics on there, which is not a small amount. That's a lot of books, but there's still huge gaps in what they have for content on DC Universe. So
I will say this, and this was for good or bad. Like, I have started using DC Universe as a way to try out certain books before buying like the omnibus. Like, I'll go in there and I'll just be like, okay, this omnibus is coming out. Which of these issues do they have on there that I can read before I jump on the omnibus?
Yeah.
Like, I did that with the Spectre stuff. And you're right, they were missing large amounts of what's in the Spectre omnibus, but they had a lot of like those early stuff that I could sit down and read. And
if they're digitizing a lot of these files too, I have to assume at this point they have everything digitized. Maybe not, but it would make sense that why we're seeing some pretty crazy collections coming out recently. They're filling in a lot of old volumes that were never printed. A lot of like Legion of Superheroes. They just got the 5 year later omnibus comes out this week. Never in a million years that I think I'd see that thing in print. A lot of books they're doing for the first time, and it makes sense. Like, if you're going to digitize it for the service, you can digitize it for print as well. Do them both at the same time. Do all the cleanups. You hit two forms: the print copy and the copy for DC Universe. There's more of an incentive to get those oddball books that have never been in print before,
or stuff that's been out of print for a little while, like the Paul Dini Batman collection. Well, that stuff comes out, and that
stuff is all digitized. I mean, I'm talking stuff from like the 90s, 80s, 70s before, the weird stuff that's never been printed in a graphic novel before, therefore never digitized.
So I gotta be honest, I'm not a big subscriber guy. I hate it. I'd rather buy the stuff that I like or buy a license to it, whatever it's called, since digital is not really actually owning. So if we didn't have this card that we already paid for another year, I probably would have just canceled, to be honest.
But you can use the card.
Huh?
Can use the card.
Well, I have to use it, right? I mean, otherwise there's just money thrown away. So I guess I'm sticking around for another year. But then, unless it's cheap to stick around, which it is actually a really good deal.
$75 for the year. I think Marvel Unlimited is $99.
Yeah, I be honest. I'm not a digital reader. I tried multiple times, even though I buy digital comics more just to have them. Mm-hmm. But I think I maybe read one issue or two issues on the DC Universe thing. It's been mostly a media thing for me, as in watching cartoons and movies and shows. So I probably would have jumped out and just keep buying physical. That's just my thing, my choice on how to read comics. So I'm a little bummed. I mean, I paid for that extra year, so I guess I'm gonna have to just use it. So, but I'm a little annoyed about it.
My favorite things, I still want the print copies of all the new comics. I'm obviously going to buy in print. DC Universe is cool to look at old stuff, though.
I really want to read all that old Brave and the Bold stuff, because I realized a lot of that stuff I read in German when I was a kid. So I really want to pick up the omnibus actually that's out, and I think maybe it's good to check out all that stuff on the DC Universe first, or figure out where all the Batman stuff is that I grew up reading that I want to check out, or the Superman stuff.
Well, it's interesting what you'll do when it's quote unquote free, right?
Yeah.
Because the wanting to sit down and like read through all these old books or random things you missed or fill in issues, it gets difficult when you're like, oh, do I really want this? Do I really want to dedicate the bookshelf for this? What's good about Marvel Universe and DC Unlimited and maybe less so Comixology, but I'm thinking more of the subscription model if you're just paying a little bit a month for access. I have no with DC Universe, I've had no qualms reading a random old Batman issue or digging through some 90s stuff that I missed because it's like, whatever. It's just there. I'll just try it because it's there. It's still not my preferred. It's far from my preferred way. I think the biggest mistake they have with the comic reader in DC Universe is the inability to see the full page first. It's either panel by panel or page view, and I really want to look at the whole page as I would when I look at a comic, and then panel view, and then whole next page, and then panel view, and then whole next page. Seeing that page to me, when I'm reading the comic and it's just panel by panel, which is fine. Again, on a cell phone, panel by panel is the way to go mostly. The transition to the next page, like you really lose something. You don't get that shock turn of the page where you see this. You may be further down the page, but you just see the big thing, right? I think they really, really need to add that in as an option. I don't mind if you want to just go panel to panel, but like have an option for full page view at the page turn. That to me is a huge mistake that they don't have there, and it really it makes reading not as doesn't flow quite as well. So DC Universe, yep.
For me, the odd thing is, and I mean, this isn't something where I feel like most people are using it for this, and I barely used it for this sometimes, is they are discontinuing the app in general for TVs.
Well, because there's not going to be any. I mean, I use it on my TV all the time. That's how I watched everything.
Yeah, but there were a couple of times when, like, I was waiting for somebody to come back to the room, and I'd throw a random comic on the TV and read it, waiting for them to come back, and then go back to what we were watching or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily disagree with them removing it from the TV, but there's still a part of me that's like, you already had the app.
Yeah.
If people like reading it on the TV, why not just support the app?
I would do this from time to time at the store. I would just load up like a graphic novel and just go slow transition panel by panel view and just hit play. So there's a comic book playing on the TV at the store. It's great advertisement. I think they're really missing the mark here. They should keep the app around for television. But DC Universe, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it comes out in January. See how big the change is.
DC Infinity,
DC Universe
or DC Infinite.
DC Universe Infinite, yes. Yep. The Emmys were this past week.
That's a thing.
What's that?
That's a thing.
It is a thing. It's a thing, and we're talking about the Emmys on a comic book podcast because HBO's Watchmen picked up four Emmys. Best Limited Series, Regina King went for Best Actress. I am horrible pronouncing the guy's name, but the guy that plays Dr. Manhattan, Yaha Abdul Mateen, right? Sounds right. Won for Best Supporting Actor, and David Lindelof and Cord Jefferson won for Writing for a Limited Series. So first time a comic book thing has picked up that big Best Series award. So that is a cool thing. That Watchmen show was damn good.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
So, but there was something else that happened at the Emmys. You know what else happened at the Emmys at the same time as the Emmys? We got a trailer.
Yes, we did.
We got our trailer for WandaVision. It's coming out. It's soon. I'm going to assume 2020. It's set for 2020. There's still not an official release date yet. I know Falcon and Winter Soldier, I believe, officially got pushed back to 2021.
Yeah, they got pushed back to 2021.
But WandaVision, of all of them, by far my most anticipated of the new Marvel shows. And that trailer did not disappoint. It looks incredible.
Yes. In some ways, it kind of reminded me of just going for it like Legion did and that kind of thing, where it just doesn't have to fit any sort of mold. It can just be its own.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we've obviously seen a little bit of some of these things before, and you know, obviously the weird like 50s television show kind of backdrop. But yeah, and now having seen this trailer, I'm going to assume this is in his head / in the gem, right? I mean, the whole in the trailer they're talking about how, you know, they say like, aren't you dead or am I dead? Or, you know, like he clearly knows that he's figuring out that he's not. Maybe this isn't real. I don't think this is like some Scarlet Witch like House of M.
So that's where I think they're pulling heavily from that. Like,
I don't know. Like, I feel like they're in like the gem. They're like, what they did in the movie.
The thing is she's back. He's not. So this has to explain that, because Vision doesn't show up at the end of Endgame.
No, he's a robot. He got fucking evaporated.
So the thing is it's either it's in the gem or it's him figuring it out in his own head, or it's Wanda going through like an emotional breakdown or something. Because I mean, I was talking to my roommate about it, and we brought up some of the history of Vision and Wanda's relationship and how she kind of just made the twins up.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of this thing about her abilities that we don't know about in the MCU, and this could be where they kind of experiment with that and expand on that. But I mean, the trailer doesn't lead you to know any of that, like any information whatsoever of what this show is going to be completely about.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I'm like, it looks super fun.
No, I don't know. I didn't take this because it feels like it's from his point of view, which would make me think he's trapped in the, you know, like his sort of his brain or whatever. There's still some connection to the gem, right? I don't know. I don't know why. It just felt more like it's on his end and not like Scarlet Witch, like altering reality to do all this stuff. I don't know. I'll see.
Or it could be a combination of the two. Some of the stuff could be of this stuff could be what she is going through, and some of the stuff could be what he's going through.
I don't know. I'm super curious to see where it comes out, and part of it really opens up that question of if they intend to bring Vision back, then this gives them potentially the way to do it, at which point you are most likely right about the gem and that stuff. Yeah. If this is meant to deal with the fallout for Wanda on losing Vision, and it's not about bringing him back into the MCU, then it's all about Wanda trying to recreate things the way she wants it to be and not being able to handle as people question it.
All right.
Because that was one of the big things was when she made up the kids and the nanny brought it to her attention, she freaked out, right? Mm-hmm. And then she was never able to conjure the boys again. And then somehow down the road they come back. I didn't read any of that stuff like specifically, but yeah, I think there's really a lot they can do either way. And so I think just once we get to see the show, maybe there'll be we'll be able to grasp on what it's about more, or it could just be some weird, just crazy thing that just
because clearly this is going to tie in with the events from the movie, and they're going to bring Vision back, of course, because why would they get rid of him? He's a robot. The whole point is they can. What did he do? What did Thanos even do? He took the gem, and then he like turned like. He didn't ash him because he didn't snap
ripped
him.
The gem out of his head.
Yeah, and then it was just like the lifeless body fell, right? Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I think it's entirely possible they will resurrect Vision, but similar to the way they handled it in the comics, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Vision that fell in love with Wanda and all that.
Do we get white vision? Do we get like robotic white vision? Ooh,
Maybe.
I like that. I like that costume.
Only if you dig him up from the grave and think he's the utter Human Torch.
Well, doesn't that lead us into potential West Coast Avengers territory?
Getting there. Yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, it totally could just be Scarlet Witch. See, I don't know how that John Byrne Scarlet Witch stuff is a little less just like problematic. I would think executives at Disney may think about the Scarlet Witch having like a complete mental breakdown and maybe a little subject they want to avoid. So, doing this from
you could take it like this: Tom King had Vision create his own family. Mm-hmm. What if it was Wanda doing that?
I mean, that's what it.
But and that's the thing is what if that's what she's doing is a coping mechanism, not like a mental breakdown or like going crazy thing. It's just how she is coping.
But I mean, that's what that is, though. It's
but if they frame the show in the way of her coming to terms with her grief over the life they didn't get to have, and comes out of that stronger, the show's fine.
Yeah, maybe
they just have to. They have to play that very carefully, especially considering she's supposed to be in Doctor Strange too.
Right. I just think the easier answer is it's all in Vision's head and it's in the gem, and they're pulling like the stuff with Gamora, and they're like he's still connected to it post the gems all going away or whatever, and he's trying to come back through it. I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes more sense to do the Scarlet Witch thing, but that could potentially maybe not come off right.
So do they just not mention the Loki TV show anymore, by the way?
I don't think so. Well, I don't think anything.
They're not mentioning any of them, really.
Yeah, just Falcon and Winter Soldier, and was WandaVision always supposed to be out first?
No, Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be out first.
Yeah, so they just pushed.
I don't even know. I guess my shock is I could have sworn like the Loki was their first announced show.
Maybe
with the Marvel Universe. Like,
I don't think they've even filmed 1 minute of that show.
Well, they had a little teaser or whatnot for it, but very little.
Huh.
And like that, and I think it was the Super Bowl ad they did or something where they showed a bunch of like first scenes from, well, not first scenes, but short scenes from the different stuff. If I recall, they had at least one scene in there with Loki.
Yeah, I do not even remember that. So, of course, I love seeing both the comic accurate Scarlet Witch and Vision costumes, even though they appear to be played up as like some Halloween costumes.
The Halloween those are perfect.
But Vision looks good. I like that. That's fun.
It's like this is what they would have looked like if we released this in the 80s.
Yeah. Fun little nod. So that's cool. And I did not even see. Apparently, Monica Rambeau is in the trailer, but I totally missed that if she is. So there you go. Photon, Captain Marvel, whatever her name's going to be in the show. What else do they call her? She's Captain Marvel. She's Photon. She's just Monica Rambeau. They just call her Monica Rambeau. Does she have like 6 other names? Haven't they called her a bunch of round names?
Yeah,
didn't they have something with Universe in it at one point? I want to say.
She got the Universe?
Probably.
I don't even remember what the hell her other names were. Let's see, Monica Rambeau. What are the other names? She had a bunch of random names. Yeah, Photon, Pulsar, Spectrum, Monica Rambeau. There you go. Captain Marvel. That might be it. I feel like there was more. Oh, WandaVision, you're going to be soon. So I can't imagine they're going to have this running at the same time as Mandalorian. Mandalorian starts, first week of October, right?
No, last week.
I'm surprised at how fast that came versus us getting Marvel shows.
It's October 30th is when Mandalorian season 2 drops.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see them having 2 of these shows on at the same time. I feel like they would.
2 different universes. It doesn't necessarily really even matter. But with
it's the same. They haven't the same audience,
but they haven't had that much content, like new content.
It's the same audience. You only need one show to keep people attached for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and then to me, it doesn't make any sense. You just roll WandaVision in the week after Mandalorian ends.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to complain if we have both in 1 week, but that's crazy to me.
Well, it could be that they're just doing Mandalorian 2 and then trying to get WandaVision out by the end of the year, so that way they at least had some Marvel content out in 2020. Because if they wait for the Mandalorian, that's pushing it to almost January.
Yeah, but I could see them launching this show on like Christmas or something like that. I could see them
Mandalorian wrapping up like the week prior, yeah, and then like New Year's. Let's see.
Well, isn't Mandalorian 10 episodes?
I don't know. Well, if it's on the 30th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 25th would be episode 9. They could double up. They could go 24, 25, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then Saturday, the 26th is WandaVision. They could just go boom, 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 right? I mean, yeah. I just don't expect they would run these shows at the same time. I think end of December. Yeah, that's good. That's a good guess. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But while we're waiting for WandaVision, Toby, it's finally your turn.
Oh, She-Hulk.
Have you been more happy with a casting than Tatiana? Is it Maslany? Tatiana Maslany?
Maslany?
Tatiana Maslany? Your favorite actress of all time?
Yes. All the Hulks.
The Orphan Black.
So just so the audience can appreciate this, just because I found this incredibly amusing. So Ryan posts a couple of things in the outline for like the podcast, and Toby immediately goes, "Bigger news," and Ryan just puts in a question mark, and then Toby berates Ryan with just animated GIFs from Orphan Black for the next.
I was still posting stuff from the news. I hadn't finished,
man. Post stupid DC shit.
I just have to say, I greatly enjoyed that exchange between the two of you.
Yeah.
So
I also used it on the regular Facebook group with the guys and girls and had fun with it too. I was just responding everybody with Tatiana Maslany gifs. It was a lot of fun with all the different sisters that were available for me to use for this. So yeah, had a lot of fun with this. Look, I'm super excited. I think Christian Bale was another one where I was super excited about because I thought that was perfect. Other than that, man, I'm not sure. Unless you give me Keanu Reeves as Moon Knight, I think that one I'll jump over the moon on also. But having one of my favorite actresses and having one of my favorite comic book characters together I was like, oh shit, nicely done.
Yeah, and she, there was a lot of talk, right? Obviously, you don't cast for She-Hulk, you cast for Jennifer Walters, right? I mean, She-Hulk is a big CG monster.
She's just going to be like computer generated or
depending on what version. I hope they go for the super smart She-Hulk lawyer comedy bit more than
like the super athletic She-Hulk versus the aged out roided one.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously the easy comparison is back to the old classic Incredible Hulk where you had one actor playing the Hulk, one actor. But like in this case, if you look at the movies, if they do the full like motion capture and that stuff that they do to capture the expressions and all of that, there's still a lot of acting involved playing the dual characters.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the big part, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why she was cast, right? She had obviously really good ability to play lots of different people. And yeah, She-Hulk is a character that's very easy to do bad. I could see the very, I don't imagine this will be bad, but She-Hulk is a character that the wrong people could just get really wrong and just make some dumb action movie out of.
Well, I was somewhat hoping, David E. Kelly, who got Wonder Woman for some weird reason, shouldn't have gotten Wonder Woman then.
Yeah.
I really felt like David E. Kelly should have just gotten She-Hulk to begin with, and then we would have had some magical show.
Yeah. Some superheroic lawyer comedy.
Yeah, but he's done some of the best lawyer shows I've ever seen.
Like, I'm not a huge fan of the art from Charles Soule's run on her, but it was some of the best like stuff that I've read.
Yeah, and Dan Slott had a great run. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Any of that
that's
stuff.
Coming out in Omnibus again, right? Or that's coming out in Omnibus.
Yes, the Dan Slott is getting Omnibus really soon.
Yeah,
and any of that would be a very cool take. The current mindless, roided out She-Hulk, I am not a fan of. I hope they avoid that.
So there was,
and I can't imagine they would.
The one that they did in the Hulk comic started out initially okay. It was kind of one of those,
like horror.
Well, no, it was more like she was dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Right.
So was it Civil War II?
I remember.
Yeah, but it was like she was dealing with like all of these, like kind of mental health issues and stuff like that. So it came out like as it's something that was very interesting. But again, like you said, somebody can take that and just turn it into and they kind of did that. They took it in this direction that was just not the way it needed to go, and like kind of just ruined the series.
Yeah. The current take on She-Hulk during the entire Jason Aaron's entire Avengers run and everything else they're doing with her, like, so not a fan of. I'm not saying you can't have arcs where she hulks out, whatever, that's fine. But I just
Immortal She-Hulk comes out this week, so I'm going to read that and see what take they're taking on that, because that's Al Ewing, right?
Yeah. But I'm just really hoping they get that character in the comics back to the way that I prefer, and I think most people prefer. And then the show is on that same style, because I have to assume that's what they're going to do. It'll be a funny kind of adventure. It can be action packed. Like I want all that, right? I want her to be She-Hulk. I want her to kick ass, but I want her to be smart lawyer She-Hulk. They can have the problems of this duality of her being She-Hulk, but I don't want like some really serious. Well, again, if it's good, it's good. I guess that's all that matters. But I prefer funny comedic She-Hulk, or at least lighthearted, to super heavy drama.
I think we need a lighthearted show right now, because we like most of them have just been dark, right? Dark tones, dark, all the, maybe having She-Hulk as more of a light-hearted show, not like, Hallmark CW, like those types of, feel-good movies, but something more along the lines of just a show that's more like fun, and it has some conflict in it and all that stuff. It's got the big action stuff where it's got all the other stuff, the comedic stuff, and that it's got the serious smart stuff. So yeah, I think it has potential to be really great in kind of like Ant-Man is to the MCU, right? Like
that's just what I was about to say. I hope this is the TV show's version of Ant-Man.
Yeah. Oh God, imagine if Paul Rudd showed up.
That'd be great. Well, Mark Ruffalo says he wants to be on the show, which I would think is.
Does he want to be on the show as Bruce, or does he want to be on the show as Smart Hulk?
This would be a great place to introduce that. Well, no, because this would obviously. I assume this will take place.
This is after
post Endgame. So, he would already be Smart Hulk. So,
did you see the tweet he sent out to Tatiana?
No. What did he say?
He was like, "Welcome to the family, cuz."
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Speaking of cousins.
Oh, Jesus. Are these ones kissing? Because if they're kissing, I'm done with this podcast right now.
No. Speaking of cousins, it's our final story of the week. We lost the first Arrowverse show this past year, and now we have lost our second Arrowverse show, or CWverse show, I guess I should now officially call it. Supergirl will be ending at the end of this season 6, which obviously should have been about to come out, but has been delayed to 2021 because of the pandemic. So it does say Supergirl will have a 20 episode final season, so it's not the full length as the previous seasons, but most of it. It ended early. Did Supergirl end early? I don't recall last season.
I mean, I want to say all the shows got cut at least a little short.
I
think the only ones I didn't finish were Batwoman and Legends.
I can't remember if...
But I think Charlie's right. I think they all got kind of cut short a bit.
It ended on episode 19, so it probably got more of what it intended, but...
Yeah, that got cut. Yeah. I'm just trying to remember what it ended with. Yeah, I kind of remember it just... Yeah. Okay, I'm looking back here at the description. Yeah, it just kind of ends. So clearly they're going to have to wrap up.
Season 2?
What's that?
Like Doom Patrol Season 2?
Well, again, that also ended because of the pandemic, right? They didn't finish filming it. So I'm assuming they'll start the beginning of Season 6 and finish up the last maybe they can get it done in an episode or two and then move on. So,
I mean, pretty much all but... I mean, Legends got an end.
Right.
But... Well, and Arrow, technically. But, like, Flash, same kind of thing. They have stuff to resolve when the show comes back.
Yeah. But Legends has always been on that one topic per season kind of...
Well, that, and it's always been a shorter season that typically started filming maybe not exactly at the same time as the others, but...
Yeah.
I've always had the impression that they've had all those in the can before they've even started airing them, kind of thing.
Yeah, no. Some of the shows, they have episodes hanging out, still filming. I think, like, Arrow, they were like, we film, like, the episode, like a month before it comes out or something. So I'm sure Supergirl and Flash are probably on the same
I mean, I've always
style of how little time is left in between episodes.
Yeah, but I've always assumed, especially with like Supergirl and Flash, that they might need a little bit longer for all the effects.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot more effects in those compared to like Arrow.
A little bit.
Most of the time. Not always, but most of the time.
Yeah. So we're getting 20 episodes now. Clearly, Superman and Lois is right around the corner, so I would hope that Melissa Benoist will still show up as a season, as a series guest star from time to time on Superman and Lois, because, man, we could have a Supergirl and a Superman show at the same time. So disappointed.
Too many
Well, we still will, just for one season.
Yeah, there will be some. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of crossover. But we'll see if, we'll see what happens. I love Supergirl. Look, CW shows have their problems. I'll defend most of them, though. Supergirl, though, was I think very consistent. Flash definitely had its ups and downs, and more downs recently. They kind of gets a drama out of that show a little bit. I don't know. Flash has had some weird problems. Supergirl, though, it's never been anything but incredibly blunt, which is fine. I think it's actually kind of neat these days. But it is a fun show, and I love these things to have a HBO or Netflix budget, right? I mean, I'd love some crazy expensive CW show or some crazy expensive Supergirl show, but you get to CW. But I like the characters. I like what they did with them. And she is great. I would love to see her keep playing the role in other shows going forward for at least next couple of years, while the CW verse stuff is still going on.
Well, I think that the CW verse is kind of trying to keep the amount of shows they have to a certain amount and not overload. I think it's a good. With Lois and Superman coming out, I think it's a good. Like you said, they'll be crossed over for a bit, but then if she comes back in the show, it's almost as like you're not losing Supergirl, but you're gaining this other show. You know what I mean?
Well, you have not only Superman and Lois, you also have Stargirl coming. So the Superman, the super flying DC character, the young female main character show has now been, not that you can't have Batgirl and Supergirl and Stargirl all on at the same time. I would love that. But they're probably like, we sort of filled the demographics we need to fill. I would assume Flash gets one more. I mean, they can maybe match Arrow and go 8 seasons on Flash. It's their biggest show, so maybe they'll keep it around a little bit longer. But if we get 7 or 8 out of Flash, I'll be happy. I mean, I want Legends to go forever and just replacing characters and keep changing.
No,
I don't know that
they can just keep recycling characters and it's fine.
I don't know that the ratings are there for it, but obviously I would love Legends to keep going. Stargirl just started, so clearly that's got a few years left in it, hopefully. And Black Lightning is obviously unique for all these shows, so I would expect Black Lightning to continue, but we'll still have we'll have Superman, Lois, Black Lightning, Flash, Stargirl. Stargirl's separate but still connected to the CW shows. Am I missing one? I feel like is there another one?
Swamp Thing.
Well, they're going to do the one season, but I would love them to have it do well enough for them to bring back and do more with, but I can't imagine that's going to happen.
I don't know. Crazier things have happened with the CW and DC properties.
Yeah, but so I mean, I guess here's the way I look at it, and this is just kind of a weirdness that seems to be happening right now is with everything shut down and delays in production and that kind of stuff, there is a lot of juggling going around that I don't even necessarily fully understand, but like Stumptown got canceled.
Yeah.
It got renewed and then canceled. Yeah. Like there's a lot of these sort of announcements that are coming out around now as they're trying to figure in when can we get these back into production? What can we commit to? What's going on? And because of that, I kind of consider this as they probably had a discussion around what they wanted to do with Supergirl. And from what I understand, Melissa had some scheduling stuff to go around that impacted part of that. So I just get the impression that they came to an agreement that maybe we should wrap it up with this season. Now, mind you, like everything else, if something changes while filming the season, I wouldn't be surprised if they changed their minds. But yeah, it's a weird time.
Well, did you guys see the news about Dark Crystal? It won an award.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. But it's on Netflix. Netflix fucking sucks. Like, Netflix cancels everything immediately. Nothing ever lasts on Netflix. I don't know why anyone goes to Netflix. Like, you become Stranger Things and you become the cash cow, but otherwise you're canceled after a season or two. Like, Netflix fucking sucks. I mean,
are you saying Netflix is the new Fox?
Like 90s Fox. They would cancel everything after one season.
Firefly canceled.
See, I guess to me, and I mean, this is the silliness in general, is like, I don't know where else would have greenlit Dark Crystal in the first place. Like, maybe Amazon?
Yeah.
But you don't have that many homes that are going to sort of jump on something like that right now. And to me, I don't have any problems with the way Netflix does things, to the point where I kind of feel like people should just understand what they're getting into. Meaning, like, design your show to be one season, and some shows have done really well with that on Netflix, where they kind of tell their story, get renewed, come up with I don't want Stranger Things going like, okay, this was designed to run 4 seasons. I kind of watch it as season 1 was really good. Oh, we're getting a season 2. That's great.
It's Netflix's insistent on dumping everything at once. They completely kill any interest people have in watching the show past the first week because it disappears. There's no promotion for anything. I will be very surprised if we get more than one more season of Umbrella Academy, because I'm sure fucking nobody was talking about season 2.
The thing is, I think it depends on what.
You're always completely wrong, Ryan.
About Umbrella Academy?
Yeah.
I mean, I want it to continue, but I'm sure, like everything else on Netflix, I'm sure they're just going to kill it after like a season or after one more season, because there's just no interest in these things on Netflix past the first season. Because I died after 1 week.
I'm still, to me, I still look at this as Lucifer is a good example of something that got saved by Netflix, got an additional season, got renewed for a final season, then got renewed for another final season after the final season.
Lucifer, if I remember correctly, was like like a favorite of like some high executive at Netflix. I think it's the only reason that show got picked up. Because there's no reason for them to have continued the show. I'm very happy, but
let me just put it this way. Usual. I still, with not always necessarily the originals, but I don't think I've ever really hit a point on Netflix where I'm like, I don't have something I want to watch. I'm disappointed by some things that didn't get picked up past where they are, but a lot of the stuff that didn't get picked up past where they are, I was actually kind of satisfied with where it ended. Like, I could see how, like, Travelers. Travelers is a great show that was only a few seasons, but the way that season ended, I was perfectly fine with them ending the show there.
I had the same thing with Altered Carbon. Like, they did the one season, I was like, well, if I get another one, I get another one. We got another one. I was like, cool. Watched it, enjoyed it. If we got another one, cool. But they said no more. And I was like, all right, well.
Yeah. So for me, it's just about setting up. Like, there's a lot of this, like Fargo. Fargo is a great example of, I would rather have shows like Fargo attract the right talent and stuff when they have a story to tell than trying to figure out how to make one story keep going forever.
Oh, yeah. No, of course. I love Fargo. And every couple of years they do a new show. It's super limited and it's completely disconnected. That's fine. That, to me,
yeah. But I'm just saying, for me, that's where Netflix excels. If you have a concise idea that you might want to tell in a season, maybe two, great. You just you don't structure something hoping to get 7 years out of it. Because I agree with you. Netflix model isn't one about propping something up for 7 years. It's about getting a few years out of it and then getting the next new thing in there to try and keep people subscribing and such. Yeah. And that's fine. The model is fine as long as you understand that model going into it.
I mean, there's a minimal amount of Netflix shows that I've been like a big fan of, so like, it doesn't really affect me. But if I was a fan of these shows, I'd be pissed at the rate at which Netflix cancels their stuff. It's outrageous. And I'd be pissed if I was a creator working for them, because you're like maybe you get one season and maybe you'll get a second, and that's it. So yeah, unless you're a shitty like low budget reality show that they can just churn out forever.
All I know is that Schitt's Creek show that won all those Emmys. Season's October 7th, baby. Woohoo!
Yeah. Greece is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's not a Netflix original, but it's
no, but it's like, I'm like, it's coming to Netflix.
Hell yeah. Another show won a ton of Emmys. Yeah, it's good. Totally deserves it. It was a great show. That's it.
No,
but I'm gonna appease Brock.
Yeah, and Kevin's not here. Woohoo!
It's all right. So we have a nice backlog of emails from many years ago, and we're going to randomly choose an old email,
9.5 years,
and answer it. And maybe we'll see it. Maybe it'll be a funny answer. Maybe it'll be a question that I don't know. We'll see if we remember. I've got going back to September 2013. So hit me with a year and hit me with a month. Toby, you here?
Did we lose him?
Am I muted?
No, you're fine. Oh. But it is more weighted to like earlier. So
okay, 1989.
Don't think I have one quite that old.
Was email even around in 89?
2013.
I say just start from the beginning and we work our way through the emails.
No, it's better if it's a random thing, because then it's like you could win the giant email pot of being read in like 5 years.
Give me a year, Toby.
2011. Wait, when did we start?
All right. You guys had your shot. Sorry. Next time. Let's
do 2017.
When
did we start the podcast?
I said 2013 and up is what I had emails for.
Oh, okay.
Toby, choose a month. Choose a month. A month that exists in the Union Earth calendar. Just a month.
July. That's an Earth calendar month.
Okay, July. Here we go. July. All right. Let's see. I got some from July. Okay. Oh, here we go. This is from Miles Gakula, who a longtime Patreon backer too.
Excellent.
This is from July 20th, 2017. Miles, finally getting on to your question. Now I know, Toby, can you go back and remember?
Can I?
2017.
Yeah.
Because he says, I've been listening to the podcast from day one and want to thank you guys for many hours of entertainment.
Oh, he's probably not listening anymore, though.
By the time you guys read this, San Diego Comic-Con will be over.
Well,
I want to ask you.
For good? Completely over.
I wanted to ask if you guys were able to pick up anything good this year. Toby, what did you pick up at San Diego Comic-Con 2017? Do you remember?
2017. Is that the year I went with you?
No, that was 2019.
No.
You went last year.
No, the first time when Leanne even came.
No, we went on that was 2010 or something. That was a long ass time ago.
Oh, is that the first time Indicator went?
Maybe.
That was a good one. We went to the Black Panther party where Black Eyed Peas was performing. And we partied with the Marvel executives that were sitting right in front of us. And Will.i.am actually high-fived Craig as he was walking out.
Nice.
Yeah. What I bought? Oh boy. I have no idea at this point.
That was the year of the cartoon turtle big pack.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was the Defenders reveal.
2017?
Yeah.
He said, I tried to order myself the Barnes & Noble Harry Potter.
Comic-Con exclusives 2017, and I'm actually going to remember at that point.
He said, I tried to order the Barnes & Noble Harry Potter and Tigger Pops for my wife to no avail. Barnes & Noble, get your shit together. It's 2017. Love the podcast. Hope the move is going well. BVS is a good movie. Miles. Thank you, Miles.
Oh, yeah. The move was in 2017.
Yeah. It would have been, it was right after this. So it was in August.
Yeah.
So,
because we shut down for 2 weeks?
No, 1 week.
1 week? Okay. Yeah. So we would have shut down in a week from that date.
Yeah. Because we opened the beginning of August, I think. So it would have been like a week after this. Toby, 2017 San Diego Comic-Con exclusives was your favorite?
I just Googled some 2017 exclusives, and dude, it's actually kind of funny because I'm like, it's the year I didn't get a Transformer, it's the year I didn't get this, I didn't get that. I'm like really like in a blank of what I got in 2017. I really no idea.
Did you get the flocked Snorlax? Oh, sorry, the flocked Lorax?
Nope.
How about the Spider-Man Homecoming Tony Stark Funko Pop exclusive from Comic-Con?
Nope.
How about the Coon? How about South Park's The Coon action figure? You get that?
Any South Park.
Did you grab a Supernatural swag bag for Charlie?
I didn't even know Charlie wanted that, so I'm sorry. No, I'm seriously looking down the list. I have absolutely no idea.
I know you got the turtles.
Is that okay? Yeah, I definitely grabbed that because I grabbed two of them, and I still owe Charlie the one of the two, and it's still in my living room somewhere.
Well, the one I'm looking at here, the cartoon set, it's a buy it now for $400. So
that's the one.
Get that stuff on eBay, man.
No, are you crazy? Do you know how hard those are to get?
Did you get the Howard the Duck Deadpool Lego?
Fuck no. Do you know how long the Lego line is?
No, I have no idea.
Dude, that shit goes on for like a good mile.
Oh, God.
I know what Brock got that year for himself. He got himself the selfie, the Gwenpool with the selfie stick Funko Pop.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Brock's favorite.
Totally grab that thing.
Dude, I seriously have, I guess that turtle set, which I absolutely adore. But other than that, I have really.
They had the Red Hulk, She-Hulk pop.
Nope. Oh, I did try to get the Usagi Yojimbo for Charlie.
Yep, I remember that.
Oh, wait.
I see a Tick Pop here, too. I'm assuming you have that, Charlie.
Yes, I have a Tick Pop. It's sitting at work, so I will probably never see it again.
X23 SDCC 2017 exclusive pop? No? Didn't get that X23 pop, Toby?
No, I am. Since Pops got so big, I kind of stopped collecting them. As it's more Lane than me. I'll try to get the occasional one I want, but that stuff went so wild and crazy. See, I go to Comic-Con. It's been so many years that I used to go to Comic-Con when nobody wanted fucking Pops. Like, nobody. I would go up there, and I literally do the Toby, where I pick between, like, 20 different Pops for the most perfect paint job. And everybody left me alone. Could you imagine that happening now? They would lynch me at this point.
They would stone you.
It is funny that when I search SDCC 2017, like 90% of the items that pop up are Funko Pops.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, at that point, I mean, look, if I have to, like, unless it's a turtle or a He-Man, I don't want to fight 200 stinky men to get a fucking toy. I have more important things to do in my life, even though I just said I would do it for He-Man and the Turtles.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what my statement really means here, but or Avatar. But I don't know. I may have had a good time that year at Comic-Con with Integrator, just doing normal stuff like having fun and enjoying life. Yeah. So I totally, I have no idea. I'm actually
go back and listen to the episode of 2017 where Toby reveals all his crazy con craziness.
I'm even looking up images from 2017. Yeah.
Well, while you're looking up at that, I'm gonna start wrapping up this podcast. If you come up with anything super, super cool, let me know.
Wait, did he have any other things to say in the email, or just
that's it?
That's it.
You know what? Let me see if this photo app thing actually works like the way it's supposed to. I'm gonna type in 2017. See what scary photos come out.
If you type San Diego 2017, I'm sure like photo the search will pull some stuff for you. But interrupt me when you get to something interesting.
I will.
Because I'm going to thank our good friends, Joe Duff, Andrew Nelson Mendez at Recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast. Make sure you go listen to this podcast.
I want to let Joe know his stuff should be on the way to him to the correct address this time.
Oh, good. Yeah, we had a return package. Just happens occasionally. All our high-tier backers on Patreon. Craig Anderson at CraigPAnderson.com. Maybe you were at Comic-Con 2017 with Toby at the Black Panther party. We'll find out. James Laws. Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum podcast. That's Social Forum, FOURUM. Jesse Peterson at the Comic Book Matters podcast. And Martin Aguilar, who wants to give a shout-out to his girlfriend, Lost Ghost Flower on Instagram. She does Pokemon extension art cards at etsy.com/shop/Lost Ghost Flower. Toby, finding good pictures from Comic-Con 2017?
Indexing, so it'll take fucking forever.
Oh, wait. I think that's when the hot toy I wanted came out. The Harley Quinn hot toy?
Suicide Squad?
Yeah, the Suicide Squad one. Yeah,
well, that's Comic-Con, though. They announced it.
Yeah, but that was the announcement. If that was the announcement, then I was like, yeah. Super stoked.
Please remember to go to comicspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify for all their previous episodes. You can find the episode in which Toby went to Comic-Con in 2017. Probably faster than his phone's going to index his images.
I will find out for the next podcast. We'll make this a 2-podcast question and answer thing because I feel bad because he wrote an email 3 years ago, and you know we'll at least take 2 episodes to respond to it.
The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net is where you can send us these emails and we'll read them one day. And of course, if you want to be on that Patreon backer list, patreon.com/comic conspiracies, where you can go to kick us a couple bucks. We always appreciate it for doing this podcast every month or every week. And comicsconspiracy.biz is our physical storefront. We can go buy all our stuff online, all our special cool comics, like our Mitch Garrett's Detective Comics 1027 special store exclusive variant cover you can pick up. We have copies, signed copies on their way. Should be here in the next couple days. Very excited. Get those sent out.
Did he crank them out over the weekend?
He's working on them. So, yep. He said should be done tomorrow, I think. So, hopefully, you have them by Monday. My hope is we have them in store by Monday. And go to conspiratorBrock.com for Brock's blog, video pull lists, and unboxing videos. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. It's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. Kevin Sharp does a series of interviews called Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com. And my wife Leanne has her website at leannehill.com. You can also go to etsy.com/shop/LeanneHillArt for all her art on there. And if you're on Twitter, Ryan Higgins Ryan is myself. You can give me a follow. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. And please listen to the Geek Box. We talked all about pre-ordering the PlayStation 5 and my coming soon computer, the RTX 3080 card. We also talked about how easy it will be this morning to order an Xbox Series X. Oops. That didn't go quite as well as people thought it would. So what do you know? Whether you drop the pre-orders out of the middle of nowhere or you plan for weeks, you can't beat bots. And also listen to Manga Machinations. A couple of our friends talk about manga and anime. You can go over there and listen to them.
Just say anime?
Anime? That's how you say it. Toby.
Yes.
Comic-Con 2017. You find anything? You gonna do it next week?
Next week.
Next week. All right. We'll get it. We'll get it next week. Promises. We'll do it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Well, you know how I do it is the first column I do is Indicator. Was that your first year?
That's a good way to do it.